So maybe you've just had a Kundalini awakening or some kind of experience that's created a big blast of energy through the system. So what's next? We're going to talk about this in this video. So, what is a Kundalini awakening? Well, in some of the videos that I've used in my earlier journey, some of the videos that I've created maybe don't do Kundalini justice. Kundalini is, at least on YouTube, a great marketing technique, because you can use Kundalini as a key word. And whilst it's true, I've had a Kundalini awakening experience, to talk about Kundalini experience outwardly like this can be a bit misleading, because people believe that they have to have a Kundalini awakening or something like this to be on the spiritual journey, and that's absolutely not true at all. Though I did used to believe that, it's not true at all. There's no difference between somebody who's had a Kundalini awakening or somebody that's not. In fact, I believe it's the idiots, me, that have to. Oh, sorry, that's a judgment. Yeah, don't take that seriously. The people that really needed, that had a Kundalini awakening, were the people that needed it. In a way, because otherwise we would never have changed our life and gone this way, the way that we're meant to go in this life experience, which is to become unified with that God consciousness that we're all aiming for here. And that's why we do the sadhana, isn't it? To get rid of that separate identity in the mind. And if you're interested in some sadhana, then down below you're more than welcome to sign up for a free breathing practice. There's a free introduction to Hatha Yoga. It's a group membership as well, but you have to get into the course for that. But that's available down below. There is also a Dark Night of the Soul course. And there's a community for people that are going through an awakening experience. That's either on Facebook, or I also created it on Discord for people that don't have Facebook, so everyone's taken care of. And then if you have a bit of money or a bit of freedom in your life and you want to sign up for one-to-one coaching, it's not for everybody, but I leave it there because some people want it and they want a bit more of a personal look or help with their journey, and that the application form for that is down below, but the coaching itself isn't free. A Kundalini awakening, or any big blast of energy in the system, is an invitation. That's it. It's an invitation to do the work. Now, what's the work? Well, some people, and I have met a few of them, have a Kundalini awakening and don't do any work. And then their life goes nowhere. Now, it's not true to say that we're aiming to make our life go anywhere. We're not having any preconceived notions as to where our life should go, either in relationship to a career or whatever, And I've been very, very guilty of that in my journey too. But a Kundalini awakening, or any sort of realization where we realize we're so much more than the body, is just an invitation to do the work. Sometimes we can create an identity out of a big awakening experience or a big epiphany or a big something and think that the work is done. Oh, I've achieved samadhi, or I've achieved enlightenment, or whatever. But we recognize there are still some latent tendencies inside of our body that still play out inside of the body, inside of the psyche, right? From the larger picture, we are spirit here to teach this human how to live life in the right way, in a more conscious way. That's our job. That's why we have this body, right? It's to teach it, to grow, to help the evolution of this body, this life, this planet, and hopefully touch the life of other people with our good feeling, non-needy state of being. So what is the work? Well, the work is yoga to start with. There's actually I don't know what happened to my camera there. 8 steps to this yogic path. The third step of that is asana, the physical movements of yoga, and then we move on and do some more things later on. But let's say we've had a big blast of Shakti. Shakti meaning energy, a big eruption of bliss or ecstasy inside of the system. The question is, what's the relevance of that now? Are we still attached to that feeling? Are we still wanting more of that feeling? Because if we are, we're in an identity, aren't we? We're in an attachment to some kind of energy inside of ourselves. And this is okay, it's part of the growing journey. We need to recognize our attachments, isn't it? But to recognize them first, we have to be attached. And so this is the journey, further and further, deeper, further and further away from that which we're not, which is this identity, this ego. So what's the experience doing for you now? The answer is likely nothing. As soon as an experience has happened, it's done. That's it. It's quite likely as well that you won't have another one for a very long time, because we need to do the work. For example, if we haven't earned the experience by doing the deep sadhana, the yogis of old, take 12 years to do this journey, to really get their nervous system into a way so that they can accept that higher energy inside of the system. And if we get a big pop-off or a big awakening, well, that's great. It's our destiny, huh? But then we have to do the work afterwards. A Kundalini awakening is not the end. It's just the invitation from God to do the work. And then that's so sweet, huh? That's such a sweet gift. Now, the work isn't easy. It's simple, but it isn't easy. But we've been given the invitation, huh? And it's best to take that seriously. Something that in our early journey we're probably guilty of not doing. And if you want to know the work, then you're more than welcome to sign up for any of the free offerings down below, like I mentioned earlier. Question is, do we want a cappuccino awakening? Do we want a mental awakening? Because if so, that's great. You probably become a philosopher, and a great one at that. But it's not the true essence of the teaching. It's not revealing to you that which we truly are in our essence. If it's a cappuccino, a half-assed awakening, or if it's like a mental thing that we're going through, constantly thinking about spirituality. And that's okay too, there's value in that. But does it get us any deeper in our experiential feeling knowledge of who we are? And if it doesn't, is it truly an awakening? Well, yes, but we must do the work, isn't it, to grind down that which we're not, which is the ego, this thinking identity structure in the mind. Nothing wrong with thinking, just maybe a little problem of making an identity out of things. Nothing wrong being a classy person or a nice person. It's just we don't want to form an identity around these things, because as soon as we do, we've lost it, isn't it? We have to take those masks back off again. So if we want the real thing, and you've had the invitation in the form of some experience, then it's time to do the work. I hope this video helps. Have a great day. Namaste.